Welcome, Red, to the 100% United pod. I'm your host, TC. Alongside me, we've got your co-host, Scott. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good, thank you, pal. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Looking forward to the weekend, and especially to the weekend after next.
Now we've got these ridiculous internationals out the way as well.
Yes, unscathed by the looks of things. And looks like we might have a friendly at the weekend as well. On today's show, we look ahead to the new season, check out the latest Manchester United transfer rumours and news, as well as answering some of more of your questions. First though, Scott, the internationals are now over. Almost time for the Premier League. Looking back on the games from the last couple of nights, Anthony Martial's got to be entering the season with a bit of a spring in his step.
Got to be right. I mean, he bossed that game the other night.
He did. He looked so sharp, didn't he? And he comes alive when players on his wavelength are around him, doesn't he? And him and Griezmann seem to be having a time of their lives out there.
Yeah, it was a shame he didn't get credited with that goal.
To be fair, mate, I would have loved him to have been. But when it hits the post and starts coming out, it's an own goal all day long, isn't it? I mean, there was a period of time when they were giving it to the strikers. You remember that? Yeah. They were just giving it to the strikers, and then after a while they said, "Nah, that's it can't be given as his goal, really." Although well, of course, he's done everything. I see some people have been crediting him with one assist. We surely got to at least get an assist for it, right?
Yeah, that's the shame of it, right? That they don't even get an own goal, gets nothing in terms of statistics.
Unbelievable. That's a load of nonsense. But look, he was really lively, 90% passing accuracy, 4 shots, 4 chances created, 3 ball recoveries, and I'm giving him 2 assists.
And he got fouled, 10 times?
He did. But look, he's back to the smiley Anthony Martial, and we will discuss him a bit later in the show. There's one of our listener questions about the strike force. But yeah, really, really good to see Anthony Martial. I'm expecting another level, even on top of the level he had last season.
Me too.
Yeah, great stuff. Look, Bruno Fernandes had his birthday, returned from the birth of his son, and starred in a 2-0 win over Sweden for Portugal. Another nice performance from Bruno, but we have to have a little word to one of our old favourites, Cristiano Ronaldo, bagging his 100th international and then adding his 101st in the second half. First, a beautiful free
kick. I don't
kick.
think you can just say added his 101st. That second one was a belter as well.
It was stunning, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
You know what, Scott? I have to say, Ronaldo hit a sort of purple patch with his free kicks at one stage where he was hitting the knuckleballs, but he was also popping them over the wall, like, say, for instance, his one again away at Sunderland when he banged it in the top corner with a curler. And he seemed to go away from that, didn't he? He was knuckleballing everything. And actually, now he's gone back to mixing it up. It's a lot better. It's a lot better result for him.
Yeah, I think he was a victim of different balls, right? Like when the balls change, it took him maybe half a season to get the knuckleball technique down with the new ball.
It's a much finer art, isn't it? You get it just a tiny bit wrong. You hit it a little bit in a different spot, in the sweet spot on different balls, and it can go flying into Rose Ed.
And you could sort of see that. It took him a couple of years to be able to get it past the wall, taking free kicks with us.
Yeah, but great stuff from Cristiano Ronaldo. Absolutely incredible career from the lad who, almost started all at Old Trafford, didn't it? So,
made in Manchester.
We still love the lad. Victor Lindelof had a nice rest, which was good. Over in the England game, Dean Henderson again Jordan Pickford was preferred. So no minutes for Henderson, which is a shame. But his agent has come out and said he's going to do everything he can to grab that number 1 shirt. So Henderson still looks like he's staying at Old Trafford. Mason Greenwood, of course, didn't appear for England. You said it might have been a sting, Scott. And it's getting a look at that now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is.
It really is. Look, Mason Greenwood, of course, persona non grata with Southgate at the moment. But if England carry on playing like that, I don't think Greenwood's got much to worry about. I think Southgate might be binned pretty soon.
Yeah, I would hope so, because it was these last 2 games have been horrific to watch for England fans.
He seems to be building his team around some bonkers players, right?
Yeah, he really is. And let's give a debut to Calvin Phillips. Why not? Mental, right?
Build the team around Conor Cody.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah, awful stuff. Mason will be back where he belongs anyway, back in Manchester. Donny van der Beek played in Amsterdam. He started, despite the rumours that he was going to be on the bench again. He almost scored. But then did you see the lovely send-off he got from the Ajax fans waiting outside the ground?
Now that's real support, right? That's real support. Spending 5 minutes on Twitter reading United fans, it's horrific, the kind of abuse that the club get. And it's just nice to see classy fans.
Yes, but you will have to caveat that with saying at Old Trafford we're pretty classy, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guys welcoming the players into the stadium. In terms of the sport in the ground, in general at Old Trafford, we are, you know, we're a decent bunch as well. You know, when you're talking about hundreds of millions of fans around the world, you're going to get a
Yeah.
big cross section of society with a lot of different difficulties and opinions.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah, but look, Donny van der Beek was actually at the Aon training complex today, so his first day on the job, which is fantastic. Scott McTominay played against the Czech Republic in a win against, well, it was a Czech Republic skeleton squad, wasn't it? Because the first were ruled out because of virus scares. He wore the number 2 again, even though he played in midfield, so he didn't add to his number collection. I was having a look through. He has had blooming a hell of a lot of numbers, Scott, I tell you. Incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Look, so yeah, all the boys back, seemingly unscathed, and now we can get on to the serious business of the new season. Quickly over the transfer rumours. The Sancho rumour rumbles on. You were watching the stock price last night, Scott, shoot up around 9%. That set a lot of tongues wagging. I mean, it's the biggest rise, I believe, since just before Pogba arrived at the club.
It is, but they're also I don't know the right word, but like influence numbers, right? Like it's been a bank holiday here in the States, so the market wasn't open for 4 days, and in that time, the value of the pound actually went down. So it could be something to do with that. Or I mean, if you actually look at I mean, I think we all took economics 101 yesterday as United fans and tried to understand what half of these things meant, and the fact that almost 4 times as many shares were traded yesterday than usual is a good sign as well, and it is exactly what happened before Pogba and before even Maguire was signed.
Yeah, it was a hell of a lot of trades going on. I mean, one thing I did a 101 as well, Scott. That United price does stay between a certain bracket, and it was getting towards the kind of lower side of that bracket. So in general, it does bounce up again. Traders know that you're going to get that value back. However, there's such a steep rise is unusual. Like you say, there are a number of reasons potentially. There have been rumours going around about a takeover of the club. They don't seem to have too much substance, but rumours lead to stock jumps as well, don't they? It's not just facts.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I only bought 1 pair of Dazzle camo shorts, so it couldn't have gone up that much.
You got the socks as well, didn't you, pal?
I did get the socks, yeah.
Absolute lunatic. Look, the other rumours going around about Jadon Sancho are that the deal has been prolonged so that he can pick up some bonuses. Now, the first one is that it would be a year since he signed his new contract. I'm not sure exactly when he did sign his new contract, but you'd expect in the summer, right?
Yeah.
So there's a year bonus thing. The other one going around is that he'd need 10 appearances for England to get another bonus. Now, he's got 13 caps for England. So I looked and thought, well, it must be 10 since he signed his last contract, right? Mm-hmm. But he's only had 9 caps since.
No, I think it's 10. It's over 10 competitive caps.
Okay.
Competitive matches, and the Iceland game was the 11th. So that would have pushed him over the boundary of the 10th competitive.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Apparently, I mean, here I am. I mean, it's amazing what you have to learn going through a transfer window as a United fan. It's amazing what you have to learn, right? You have to learn law, have a semi-law degree to figure out all these contracts, a semi-economics degree to figure out all these stocks.
You know, you need to learn how to track flights around the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, some sort of fashion degree to figure out red shoes and white Lamborghinis. You remember that?
Yeah, I think the to round them all together is that we're shot to bits.
Exactly, all of us. Yeah. No.
Yeah, absolutely shot to bits. But yeah, it does rumble on. It does need to be sorted soon. Look, in Germany, the habit, you know, in England, the habit is to go late in the window, right? We wait to the end, and clubs are used to buying right at the end of the window. In Germany, they don't like that at all. Mm. They like to have things sorted out. They like to have their squad together, and they do start on the same day as we start, the same, you know, on that week on Saturday. So,
what was the transfer window supposed to be this year in Germany? Because it makes sense that maybe this loyalty fee, that they would sort of make it to be a couple of days or a week after the transfer window shuts, right? So then it's obviously he can't leave at least for a few months But now that that's been
That's a
pushed back
fantastic
forward,
point.
that's been pushed back. It might be, say if it is the second week of September, before the transfer window would have been closed by then, but now it's not. And I mean, €1.5 million is, it's
That,
good money, right? You're not going to say no to
of
that.
course, of course. You know what? That's a fantastic point, Scott. You might well be on the ball there that they would set it to after when the transfer window should shut, and Borussia Dortmund may pay the opposite price to what Barcelona did. Right?
Yeah.
Barcelona obviously got the benefit of the shift with Messi, and Dortmund might get the opposite. So yeah, we'll look into that actually. The Sancho thing rumbles on, but it's got to be soon, hasn't it? We've got to. I really don't want us to be going into the season. I don't want us to do this thing where we see how we go, and then you're hoping we do fantastically well, but then if we do, then they say, "Oh, we don't need him anyway." So yeah, it's dragging on longer than I would have hoped, Scott.
A lot is going to be answered as to where he goes after the international break, right? If he does go back to Dortmund, then I have a small feeling he's not going to. So
Really?
yeah, but I know she must be given a couple of days off, right?
Well, I mean, Donny was back the day after playing. Daniel James was back the day after playing. Proper lad. So who knows, Scott? We'll be keeping an eye on the Borussia Dortmund feeds. They haven't been featuring him much recently, have they?
No.
They've been featuring loads of different players, but
You could
not so
certainly
much.
see he was wrapping himself in cotton wool the other night, right?
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't enjoy playing with that trash either, did he?
No, I wouldn't.
That was rubbish. Look, the Sergio Reguilon rumours are that it's the buyback that's holding it up. I had finally come round to saying that maybe I'd accept a buyback, didn't I, Scott? But as it happens, it seems like United don't really want that to happen. So it seems that we are fully interested, maybe have to pay a little bit more to get rid of that buyback clause. The only thing that I would highlight is that he does regard Real Madrid apparently as the club of his life, as quoted by Marca. So even if the buyback clause wasn't in there, there's still a possibility that he would covet a move back to Spain, which, to be honest with you, we really do expect anyway from South American and Latin players in general, right?
Yeah, but 5 years ago, you would have thought David De Gea would have been nailed on by now to be a Madrid player, and he still isn't. So I think you just get this one through the door and cover that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, lucky United use fax machines instead of emails, right? The latest is that Spurs, Inter and Juve are all interested in Reguilon as well. So Real Madrid trying to ramp up the interest in him. I presume we will get some kind of clarity on that in the next few days. Still over in Spain, Saul Niguez said he's flattered to be linked with United. Can't see it. I mean, we're still linked a little bit to Thiago. If we went and got Saul or Thiago, we would be really strengthening the part of the side that at the beginning of the summer probably would have regarded as the strongest, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought Van der Beek was a bonus signing, right, to be able to strengthen that middle. So if we did it twice, would be outrageous.
It would. You'd expect someone to go out the door if that was the case, and possibly not just one of the three regular names that get thrown around. Your Matas, Pereira, and Lingard. Possibly a Fred as well.
It'd be Fred, yeah.
The other big name is David Alaba, who still wants to leave Bayern Munich. For all intents and purposes, he says that he wants them to get a fee. So Bayern would be looking for a fee. They're looking for 30 for Thiago. Thiago's in a similar contract situation, 1 year left. So this one's one that I like, Scott. I have to say, he covers defensive midfield, he covers left back, he covers centre back. You could kind of get him if you got him and a Sancho. Then I'd be happy to sign that summer off.
Yeah, you'd be good.
Yeah, I think so. If we got Reguilon and Sancho, I'd still be thinking we need a little bit more defensive strength through the middle. But Alaba, yeah, he might tick all those boxes.
He might do. Apparently, Marcus Rojo has been impressing Ollie with his double training sessions since he's been coming back.
Yeah, it made me laugh, that, I tell you. I mean, that's what you do at blooming school to impress the coach, isn't it? Train twice a day. You know what I mean?
You think that's done? Yeah.
But it's good to see. And Rojo is someone who's gone on little spells, hasn't he? Spells of form under a number of different managers as well. He's like impressed for a few games. You think, is he finally getting it together? And then he either picks up an injury or loses form. But yeah, it's always good for our players to be in the good books, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, but I think for a stopgap until maybe January or next summer until Upamecano is more available, then I think he could actually do a job. I know I wrote him off last podcast, but the more I think about it, the more I think he might have a very small part in the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ollie seems to trust him more than he does Jones. There was a period of the season when Jones was fit, Lindelof and Maguire were playing every game, every sort of 3 days, and he still didn't want to put Jones in. So
yeah, I do too.
Let's hope. Yeah, me too as well. Another signing in the youth system, Alejandro Garnacho, 16-year-old wonder kid from Atletico Madrid. Bit of a goal machine, apparently. Been banging them in. We beat Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid to his signing. Atletico and Real Madrid have sort of got a peace treaty between them, so they won't be aggressive in signing between the two clubs. But nice to beat Borussia Dortmund to him. And we've got a little bit of a selection of Spanish youngsters now. We've got Gerardo from Barca, Carreras from Madrid, the two fullbacks, and we've got Mejia, who we got in last year as well. So a bit of a Spanish contingent coming up through the youth ranks now.
Yeah, and long may it continue. I just hope that that the under-23s isn't too much of an age stop for them that we can actually see in this season.
Yeah, well, apparently United are going to be trying to arrange quite a few under-17 fixtures this year. So we're going to try and fill out the calendar with them for all these young players. Am I right in thinking when Brexit kicks in, we can't buy or obtain players under 18 for the youth academy? Is that right?
Probably, yeah. Probably, I don't know.
I think it might be the case. Because I think we've had to wait before for players outside Europe, haven't we, to turn 18 to actually sign them.
So that's why we're filling our boots now?
It might well be, yeah.
Right, yeah. Right.
It might well be. Chris Smalling looks like this never-ending Roma move might still be on. It just seems that there's, moving the goalposts every week with his rumour, with the rumour of whether he's agreed terms, whether Roma have agreed terms. It does seem like he is going to go. But if he does, I really do hope we get reinforcements in at centre-back, because last season, like I say, we relied on Jones and Rojo, who Ollie didn't really trust. And then Smalling was out on loan, tearing it up. And he would have been, for me, first replacement for Maguire and Lindelof, and possibly dislodging one or two of them throughout the season.
Yeah, don't forget about Axel and his injury, right? The beginning of last season, yes. Axel was captaining the Carabao Cup squad. So
I know.
Hopefully he's going to get some fitness back and we'll have another body there.
Yeah. Memphis Depay looks like he could be on the move to Barca, which would mean we get a nice little percentage of that, which would buff up the coffers. Dylan Levitt seems to, he's sealed a loan to Charlton, obviously relegated to League One last year from the Championship. So I think we'll be all eyes on Charlton. He's a cracking player, and it'll be nice to watch him in men's football at that level. I think it's a good loan. I think it's a good level to start at for him. He can kind of boss games.
I hope so. And you love your Welshies, don't you?
Oh, don't I just. Quentin Fortune has left the club. Neil Wood's assistant, of course, in the 23s, gone to join Johnny O'Shea as the Reading first team coach. So we might be meeting him in the Carabao Cup. So we'll see with that. Good luck to Quentin Fortune. He's a blast from the past, isn't he?
Yeah, great red.
He was indeed. Tonight, the under 23s actually play against Salford, of course, owned by the class of 92. Unfortunately, it seems like Gary Neville's flocking tickets for it. It's not an MUTV, and he's charging, £5 or £10 to watch it on their blooming website.
You're kidding. It's not an MUTV.
No, I checked the schedule and I saw Gary Neville doing a post, and I think it was £10 for a season ticket watching it on Salford.com or whatever it was. And I think it was £5 for the game. I was thinking, get out of town, Gary.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're going to pay a £5 to anyone, it would be them, right?
Yes, well, that's I presume what he's doing. He's tugging on our heartstrings, and it will be a cracking match. I'm sure I'll find a way to watch it.
Not pay a £5.
No comment. Look, in terms of the women's team, call-ups to the England team for Ella Toone, Millie Turner and Katie Zellem, the skipper, for the first time. So well done to those lionesses to be. Tobin, Heath and Christen Press, we mentioned the other day, the US internationals, potentially moving to United. They're going to have to hurry up with that one because the window shuts for the women's game tomorrow, and they still haven't been announced. So 2 American stars potentially coming to United, and it actually might be a bit of a mirror of the bromance. What do you call it with women? Is it a womance?
yeah, that works.
So they're massive. Well, I call them massive powers, but the rumours in the States are they're actually an item. So that'd be an interesting one to watch. There's all kinds of rumours. So hopefully we'll get that sealed by tomorrow.
I have to be honest with you, TC. I woke up this morning and looked on the United website, and the headline "Greenwood signs for City" almost fell out my bed,
mate.
Little did I know it was Alex Greenwood. Oh, mate,
that's a horrified headline, isn't it? Do you, mate?
Unbelievable. Yeah, I thought it was screaming.
That was my next point. I was going to say a very unpalatable thing popped up. I still bloody followed her. We still followed her on Instagram. That's been put to bed. I tell you that for nothing.
Yeah, get rid of that.
I'd put it straight out, mate. Straight in the dustbin.
And it's never going to get those likes back.
It's not often that I keep on following a player when they leave. But she was skipper. She seemed like a proper red and all the rest of it. Although I think she did play for Liverpool as well. So I
found myself still following Fellaini a few months ago, and I was like, "What am I doing? He's gone."
You always had a soft spot for Big Moore.
It was good to see the bump in Donny's followers. Right, I think he gained like 500,000 followers over a couple nights. With the old United boom.
Yeah, the classic United boom, eh?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
No, you always told me you can't follow a player until they actually get signed so that they see the boom, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they feel the love.
Yeah.
Look, you've already been splashing out on the bottom half of the third kit. Unfortunately, Scott, I just have to say that the first team are not actually going to be wearing the camo shorts and socks. It's going to be camo top, white shorts, red trim, and white socks. So we're not going full camo, unfortunately, when we take the field.
You've got to think it would have been better in black shorts, right?
Yeah, well, as you pointed out a little while ago when it was leaked that most teams wear white or black shorts, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So the camo ones were going to bloody clash with everyone.
Yeah.
So impossibly the only time we could wear them was away to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Going full camo. So So that's the latest. I must say, it's growing on me a little bit.
It is. David Beckham just makes everything look all right, doesn't he?
That was a genius move from United and Adidas, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
I'm such a sucker. Honestly, I'm such a sucker. Every single blooming kit, I start off and then it grows and it grows, and in the end, I think it's bloody lovely. Might get one of them.
What about that snakeskin? You can still pick that up on the United.
No.
You know what? You can actually still pick up
that never grew on me. That was.
What about the red and black home shirt?
Oh no, thanks.
No,
with the black shorts.
You can still find that on the United website. Yeah,
and I thought it couldn't get any worse. And then they wore it with the white shorts, and I thought, yeah, it can actually.
Yeah,
absolutely shocking.
Much worse.
Absolutely shocking. Yeah. We'll be camo on the top, but you'll still be able to see our legs.
Oh no! What's the point then?
Look, the United player and goal of the season. I was expecting them out today. I voted a little while back, and it said that the votes finish around the 7th, 8th. So we should have the player of the year and the goal of the season awards out, the official ones soon. Going on to next season, Scott, in terms of where we stand now, if we didn't sign anyone else, where would you predict us to finish in the league?
Third,
yeah, above Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely. Our best player of the season last year only played with us half a season,
and Pogba only played half a season.
Yeah, exactly. So we and Mason as well really only got half a season in the first team. So I see us being better than we were last year, even without any signings. With Donny, I think we're going to be even better. But I don't think we can bridge the 16-point gap to City yet.
Yeah, I agree. I've chatted to a few United fans, and they've said, "Look, this is the best we can do if we don't sign anyone." And I thought that's not right. That's not right at all. I think that front line has got growth in them. I think Bruno, like you say, has got a full season. I think Pogba playing a full season and with his added maturity. We've got Donny van der Beek in, who is going to add goals from midfield, which we've severely been lacking.
David De Gea can't play much worse.
He can't, and like I say, I think Harry Maguire's going to have a big season, and Wan-Bissaka will be a year older in terms of his United career. He's still only young himself, so yeah, it would be a good achievement to finish above Chelsea with all those signings. But at the same time, it could go south for Chelsea. They've got a young manager too, and if it starts going in the wrong direction, they might get itchy feet again, get rid of Lampard, and before you know it, their season's in turmoil.
I mean, people forget how it takes teams a bit of time to gel, right? And a lot of these players are coming in, never played Premier League football. It reminds me when Abramovich first came in and Ranieri just started buying everyone. Remember, he got Glenn Johnson, Joe Cole. I mean, the list went on, but all of those players actually had Premier League experience, and it still took them time to gel. So
it did.
I don't think Chelsea are going to be as good as people think they are this season. They might be all right.
As good as they're on paper, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'll certainly be in good stead for the future. But yeah, you're right. Look, we'll answer the question that came in last pod. Just have to clarify something. I got a few messages after the last podcast when I said that the British Isles covers Ireland and Britain. I mean,
I knew it.
And you know what, Scott? Before the show, I tried to find the answer that would appease the most people. Yeah. But as it happens, anything you mentioned Britain and our mates over in Ireland go potty. Look, we have to caveat say Scott's from Scottish blood, I'm from Welsh blood, so don't worry, we're all on the same side. But
I got some Irish blood in me as well. But
there you go.
Yeah, I could tell when you said that, I was like, yeah, just give that a mm-hmm. Don't say anything to that. Yeah, don't jump in that can of worms.
Do we call it the Atlantic archipelago?
Whatever you want. Yeah. Whatever you want. You know,
Britain and Ireland. I don't know. They were very nice about it. They were messing about, just pulling my plonker. But at the same time, I think anything with Britain mentioned in it is persona non grata over there. So look, apologies to anyone offended because we have a big listenership in Ireland. So
the world's gone mad.
Look, so at Downey 316 from the UK or Ireland. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what to say. Or that's it. From somewhere around there.
He said, well, I won't say the hi guys, excellent pods as you always bet.
Take that as given.
If we get Sancho, where are we finishing? So look, you're giving your answer in terms of without any more signs. If we got Sancho as well, do you think that's enough to bridge that gap?
I do.
Yeah?
I'm not saying it's enough to bridge 30 points, but I think we could come second.
And you know what, Scott? It might be a mental season this season. There's been hardly any break. There's not been, City and Liverpool haven't torn up trees in terms of transfers. You don't know how players are going to react to such a quick turnaround. It might be a weird season. It probably will be. There's no fans to begin with. It's like I always start the season super confident, thinking we're going to do a miracle, and then be less and less confident as the points gap widens up. But yeah, I think if we got Sancho in and possibly reinforced just a bit further back in the team, we could give it a real shot.
I think we could give it a real shot. I don't think we could quite win the league next year. As optimistic as you know I am.
Yes.
I really don't think we could sign anyone this summer who could necessarily win us the league next year.
Do I need to go down the bookies and put a tenner on it?
That might do it. Yeah. Harry Maguire not to score all season and United to win the league. Fergie used to always say that the hardest thing was to win the league again, was come back the next year with the same motivation, the same bit between your teeth and do it all again, especially because the opposition raised their game twice as much.
Yes.
I don't think Liverpool are going to win it by 30. I mean, I hope to God they're not going to win it by 30 points. I can't do that again. But
you know what, as well, though, is another thing Fergie always used to say is he wants to be in the mix when it comes to the crunch. He always used to say, look, if we're within touching distance, after the new year, and then he'd set the next deadline and the next deadline. If we can be in the mix, then anything's possible, right? Yeah. It's like with Leicester, because they were in the mix, they had that added impetus to go on and actually blooming do it. So look, if I'm a betting man here, it's not a prediction that seems obvious, with all the parts of it. But as a fan, you've always got to start off positive, right?
Of course, yeah. My heart says we're going to win the league, but my head says we're going to come second.
Yeah, definitely.
Or third.
Look, in terms of, I had a couple of questions which I thought were crackers actually. We'll answer both of them. Martin from Denmark said, who of Rash, Martial and Mason are you backing to get the most goals next season and why?
I'm going to say Mason Greenwood.
Really?
He's the best finisher. He's the best finisher I've ever seen in my life.
That's a belter. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going Anthony Martial. I think he's got levels to go up, and I think he probably will play number 9 for most of the season. And I think if we can get Jadon Sancho alongside him, I think they're going to blooming link up like there's no tomorrow. So I'd go for Martial. I've got another question, sort of almost tying into that actually. At NC Giorgio said Rashford plus or minus 25 goals next season.
Oof. I'm gonna have to say minus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the under, but not by many. If you gave me plus minus 20, I'd say over. I'd say between 20 25.
Okay.
I think he's gonna have a great season like last season, but 25 is a lot of goals.
It is indeed. I would agree with you on that one. I'd say under, not by much. Always seems to miss a few games through injury, and also in recent games he has played a bit more of a creative role as well. So who knows? Again, Sancho coming in might light a spark under Rashford, but at the same time,
Do you want to call it? I'll say get 22 goals this year again.
22 again. 22, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, big call.
What do you think?
I'll go 21, and then I get all the ones under, don't I?
Oh, all the ones over. Yeah, all right, fine. The old Price is Right.
What about Martin, actually, from Denmark, also said, what are your top 3 scorer predictions? So who's your number 1, 2 and 3? Would it be Mason, Martial, then Rashford, or do you think Martial's going to get less than Rashford?
No, I think it's going to be Mason, Martial, Bruno.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if Bruno's got to score more than 22 goals, I mean, that means we're going to have someone scoring 28, 26 and 25 and 23. I mean, how are we not winning the league with those numbers?
It's a bloody hard question. I'll tell you that for nothing, Martin. Because
good one.
It really is, because they all, you can see them all having a better season. You can see them all getting more goals. The one who's least experienced out of the 3, Mason, bagged 17 last season. Mm-hmm. So, and you think, blooming surely he'll score more. You know, if he played every game, I'm not saying he will, but if he did, bloody hell, the sky's the limit. So
it also depends who takes penalties.
Yes, well, I would have thought it'd be Bruno, right?
Yeah, which is why I think we'll get 15 penalties next year. Yeah,
I'll go Martial, Mason, Rashford.
All right,
there you go. I'm not including Sancho yet. But, we'll do a bit more on the season to come on Friday as well. There's quite a bit of news rolling, so we'll just break it up into a few parts. We're not starting the season, of course, until a week on Saturday. In terms of a surprise star this season, maybe a player who was in the first team possibly last season, but in terms of who you think might raise their level and be regarded at the end of the season as maybe a player of the year contender.
Ooh, player of the year. I was going to say Dan James was going to be my
surprise star,
my sleeper, if you will. But I don't think he'll be a player of the season candidate.
No. I mean, it's pretty hard to break into the player of the year reckoning with the guys ahead of you at United. So yeah, that's fair enough.
You know, I'm just going to call something here. I'm going to say Paul Pogba. I'm going to say he's going to have the best season yet for us.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why not?
I blooming hope so, mate, because that would mean we have a fantastic season, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice one. I think, not so much of a surprise, I think Harry Maguire is going to have an absolute belter. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to react really well, and he's going to turn into a real rock at the back there, and I think he's going to chip in with some goals as well. Is that a surprise to you?
That is, yeah, especially given you're predicting it. I mean, he just needs to get a bit harder, right? He just seems a bit soft. I mean, the semi-final against Sevilla, he sort of just seems a bit... He's like a lovable oaf in a way, but he just needs to become a bit more of a... He needs to turn from Ronnie Johnson into Jaap Stam, if you know what I mean.
Well, he needs to regard Troy Deeney as a Greek policeman.
He just needs to be a bit of a bastard. And I think that will really improve his game. I just think he's now, given his success with England beforehand, he was regarded as such a nice guy. And now maybe he's got a bit to prove in that regard, but I think he just needs to get a bit tougher.
Yeah, I'd echo that. One more before you go, Scott. Who will start next season, not this season, next season, as United's number 1?
Dean Henderson.
Yeah?
Oh, that's tough, but yeah,
cool.
Next season, right? Not this coming one.
Yeah. No, next season, next season.
Yeah, but that means we're going to have to get rid of De Gea as well, right? Because he can't sit on the bench on 300 grand a week.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be De Gea. I think it's going to be De Gea. I think part of me saying that because I don't want there to be a disaster that means that Henderson has to come in. And part of me says the way David De Gea has replied to the criticisms and the question marks in the last couple of games for Spain has been positive. And we all know De Gea's level is right up there. However, I always want the best for United. So if Henderson coming in is going to be the best for United, then I'll say farewell to De Gea and thanks for the memories. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I don't like to dig our players out unnecessarily, but yeah, that's why I asked the question, because it's a tricky one, right?
But you think as well that we signed Van der Sar when he was 33, 34, and had some of the best years of his life after that, right? So
Yeah.
age, just because De Gea is going to be 31, 32 this year, that's not a deciding factor, I don't think, yet.
It's not, but Van der Sar was never the most agile of keepers, was he? He was very, very steady. He was very good with the ball at his feet, and he was very good at organising the defence and the basics of the game. Whereas De Gea, as we discussed a few pods ago, I believe, he plays on a knife edge all the time. It's all these mad reactions and saves that are always on the brink of being a disaster. However, in his best years, there weren't the disasters. He made the saves. So I don't know whether age will be kind to him, like people compare it with the Casillas, of course, who came through at a young age. It's an easy comparison. He's a Spanish keeper, and it was a guy who relied on his reactions. But yeah, hopefully he rises to the occasion. But look, they're both good options, and Dean Henderson is a red. He was there when Rashford scored his debut, and if he takes the number one spot, fair play to him.
Absolutely. I wish nothing but the best for him, but I do have a worry that he's not quite ready yet.
Yeah, I think that's what we suspected before De Gea had a little bit of a nightmare towards the end of the season, right? And then sort of that coupled with Henderson being quite a loud noise, we were saying, oh, maybe we could push him. But our instincts were that it is probably a year too soon.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us again, everyone. Keep the questions coming in. You can send them by DM on Instagram at United100podcast or on Twitter at United100pod. Our email is United100podcast at gmail.com. You can fire them in there too. Make sure you're subscribed on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods. We'll be back on Friday. Until then, thanks for joining me again, Scott.
Thank you, TC.
Take care. Cheerio, Reds.
Tara.